You might be thinking about getting a dog but are worried about how much cleaning up you'll have to do. A dog's hair can pick up all kinds of muck and dirt as they're out playing and enjoying themselves. So maybe you want one that at least won't leave hair absolutely everywhere. You might think that you're limited to small breeds, but there are some big guys that you could consider too. And we're not going to make you wait until the end. Breed number 1 might surprise you, and we might even not talk about poodles. So let's first look at the Schnauzer. Now you might take a quick look at a Schnauzer and think all of that hair surely comes off and goes everywhere, but we need to realise that the length of the hair has nothing to do with how often that hair can shed. So for a breed with longer hair than you'd expect, they are surprisingly low shedders. Schnauzers come in 3 sizes: miniature, standard and giant, and all 3 are great choices of dog full of personality. They're good with people of all ages and can be a great companion to anyone, but they can also be a little stubborn at times. Because of their size and athleticism, expect to find them walking all over your countertops and able to use your sofa for parkour. Dachshunds. Dachshunds are great little dogs that love to play and to entertain.
Here at the Colosseum, remains of Dachshund sausage dogs have been found dating all the way back to the Roman period. Now there are several theories about what they used Dachshunds for, and the one that I like the most and the one that I'm going for in this video is that they used to parade them alongside the lions and the tigers and all the other animals that they had here to give a bit of comedy and show the different size between all the different animals.
Because they were bred to spend a lot of time going after burrowing animals and down holes, a short coat was incredibly beneficial to them. There are varieties nowadays with longer coats than their ancestors, but if you get a short to medium haired Dachshund, you'll have minimal cleaning up to do, leaving plenty of time for maximum fun. Greyhounds. You can't have a list of low shedding dogs without mentioning the Greyhound. Some of these guys' coats are so short that you could be forgiven for thinking that they've recently been shaved. These are the kind of dogs that will often wear an extra coat to keep warm, even when other dogs are upside down in a paddling pool trying to cool off. You may find that they shed a little more than usual in spring and autumn, but even if all of their hair came off in one go, you could collect it with a dustbuster and still have plenty of room to spare. Greyhounds are amazingly lazy dogs, which may be a surprise given their racing heritage. They will run to the other side of the field as fast as they can, and then they'll just take a nice leisurely saunter back and go and spend the rest of the day sat curled up on the sofa. They give all their energy and all their effort in that one incredible burst of speed, which is something that's worth bearing in mind if you're thinking about having one. StaffYs. Of course I'm going to mention Staffordshire Bull Terriers. Anybody who has seen more than one of our videos knows how much we love them, and we will always recommend them to everyone. StaffYs have got a lovely short and close coat, which means that you don't need to do much in the way of regular grooming at all, and it wraps up 50 kilograms of dog in a 20 kilogram container. Now we do take our StaffY to the groomers once a month, mainly for more socialisation than him actually needing like a haircut or a proper grooming session. StaffY's coats never grow and never need a trim, so if they're well looked after they can be incredibly fine and almost sheen in some lights. Now I'm not going to lie and say that we've never found clumps of Freddie under the sofa, but compared to some breeds, StaffY's shedding is not an issue at all. I mean, sometimes their enthusiasm does get the better of them, but if you can get them on your side, they will treat you like royalty. Poodles. Yeah, okay, of course, we are going to talk about poodles, because every time you ask anywhere on the internet, what dog breed should I get that doesn't shed or is hypoallergenic, poodles are the go-to recommendation everywhere you go. On first look, it's easy to see why. You always see pictures of poodles with incredibly close coats, and you can groom them and you can do so much with their hair. There really are endless options for what you can do with the coats of poodles. Even poodles with curlier hair are low shedders, but as with any dog with with curly hair, you will find clumps of it as you comb through, so a regular grooming is essential for poodles to keep them looking their best. A lot of people will go for poodles and oodle type dogs because they believe them to be hypoallergenic. Now, while poodles are probably less likely to trigger reactions in some people than other breeds are, it's important to note that there is no such thing as a completely hypoallergenic dog. But if you suffer from asthma, hay fever, anything like that, then I can see why poodles might be the first place that you would look. But I do want to give a word of warning with regards to poodles and especially poodle crossbreeds. I was involved in the rescue of a poodle cross a year or so ago, and we could not find a single shelter that wanted to take her in because of the temperament issues that are so prevalent in poodle crossbreeds. So while you might think that you've found the right breed to help you sneeze less, you might find that you've got a long job ahead as you have to train and socialise that dog when it wasn't bred with temperament in mind. If you want to see some of our training videos and stay up to date with all of our dog tips and news, then please give us a subscribe. It makes such a difference to small channels like us. Yorkshire Terrier. Yorkies are another breed that can make great companions, especially for the elderly, and will leave hardly any trace of themselves behind. Some teacup breeds are so small that they could fit in your coat pocket, so even if they do shed, it will take years before you notice. How much grooming you need to do depends on how long you want to keep their hair. Now, you can have Yorkies with their hair all the way down to the floor, but most owners like to have what's called a puppy cut, which is a lot more like the normal image of a Yorkie that we're all used to, with the hair a lot closer to the body. But it's important to know that even if you do have their hair short, Yorkies need a thorough brushing at least once a day to stay clean and not free. Unlike other terrier breeds like the Jack Russell, Yorkies only have one layer to their coat, which makes them a little easier to deal with. Find yourself a good local dog groomer as soon as you can and get them booked in regularly for trims and baths. While you do need to wash them at home, there's nothing like the smell of a freshly scrubbed dog straight from the groomers. Did you choose your dog breed based on how much they shed, or was there something else that you felt you just couldn't live without that made you get that furry friend? We love hearing your stories in the comments below, and we're so grateful for those that make it to the end of each video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please look after yourselves and your dog.